Hi, my name's Tim Bray and I'm the VCE team leader here at Cranbourne Secondary College. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to run you through what the VCE program looks like here at Cranbourne Secondary College. Now, the VCE is one of our two senior school certificates that we offer here at Cranbourne Secondary College, the other being VCAL. They're both very, very different in nature. They target different learning styles and potentially lead to different career pathways based on the student's need. The VCE is a senior secondary certificate that provides pathways to tertiary education, such as universities and TAFEs, as well as advanced certificate courses, and of course directly into the workforce. It is a world-class credential that enables students to study a broad range of subjects and is also recognised nationally and internationally, which means that at the end of it, students can use the qualification to study at other institutions in other states and territories of Australia as well as overseas. A few questions that we constantly get asked will be covered in the next few slides. The first one being, well, how is the VCE structured? The VCE course is made up of studies of units, some of which must be studied as a sequence. A study as a subject, for example, English, biology, PE, food studies, something like that. It is made up of 4 units, units 1 through 4, each of which are a semester or half a year in length. For most students, the VCE is completed over 2 years. Students typically study units 1 and 2 in their first year of study, again, probably in year 11, and units 3 and 4 in their second year of study, most likely at year 12. You can study units 1 and 2 of a study as a standalone unit, which means that if you start a unit 1 and you decide that it's probably not for you, or your career pathway changes and you want to change to a different study or subject, that's possible in the second half of the year. However, you must enroll in units 3 and 4 of a study in a sequence, meaning that once you start a subject at unit 3 in year 12, you must continue with it to unit 4 in the second half of the year. This sequence needs to be completed in the same year of study for a score to be calculated. Students usually take or study between 20 to 24 units, which is 5 or 6 subjects across years 11 and 12. You can take longer than 2 years to finish your VCE if you need to. Some students start their VCE journey in year 10, and some study units 3 and 4 in year 11. Some other students decide to do what we call a 3-year VCE, which is spread their VCE course across 3 years so that they can allocate a little bit more time to each individual study, allowing them to have greater success. So what studies can I choose? Well, you have a variety of study options in VCE through which you can pursue your interests and build your skills. There are over 90 different VCE studies and 20 VCE VET programs across the subject areas of humanities, sciences, mathematics, technology, the arts, and languages, not to mention vocational studies. Each school decides which VCE studies and VET programs it will offer. If Cranbourne Secondary College doesn't offer your chosen studies, you might want to consider another provider. You may want to consider things such as Virtual School Victoria, which is like distance ed, or the Victorian School of Languages if you want to pursue a second language. Or, of course, you can speak to your careers practitioner about other options of studying other subjects and studies outside of the school environment. It is highly flexible in its composition. Increasingly, students are including VET from Cranbourne Secondary College VET Cluster in their program as well. And we'll refer to some VET cluster options a little bit later in the presentation. I want to emphasize that just because a subject ran or potentially didn't run at Cranbourne Secondary College in 2020, that does not mean that that subject will or potentially won't run in 2021. So how should you choose a VCE study to do? Well, I understand that when you finish year 10, 16, 15, maybe even 17 years of age, you might not have truly understood exactly where you want to be in 5, 10 years' time. And that's okay. It is beneficial to you, though, to have some sort of interest in mind. Where would you like to start your journey? Remember, we're not talking about a job or a career that you're going to need to do and pursue for the rest of your life. We're just looking at, well, where do I want to start my journey when I leave Cranbourne Secondary College? The best idea is to choose some studies that either interest you, that you have a passion about, either at school, you've enjoyed in the past, or you do outside of school. Maybe things that you're good at that will lead you to a job that really interests you and you're passionate about, will help you to get into a university or a TAFE course that you really want to do. What do you need to do to achieve your VCE is also a commonly asked question. To achieve your VCE, you must successfully complete a minimum of 16 units. Remember, before I said that most likely you'll do somewhere between 20 to 24. And it's important that you do those for a couple of reasons. One, it gives you a buffer that if you decide to drop a unit because it's not something that is interesting you, then it's okay to swap to something else. It also means that when we talk about ATAR scores later on in the presentation, that you'll have more units of study to contribute to this ATAR score. 3 units of English group, 2 of which must be units 3 and 4, which is your year 12 sequence, are a must. Everyone must do either English or EAL, English as an additional language. You also must complete at least 3 other sequences of units 3 and 4 studies. You can complete the remaining units, including the 3 sequences at units 3 and 4 level in any study that interests you. Your teacher determines if you have satisfactorily completed each unit based on the work you submit and your adherence to the VCAR and school rules. Another critical aspect here is the VCAR attendance policy, which is currently sits at 80%. You may have heard the term prerequisites mentioned in previous presentations or by your school careers practitioner or even your teachers. VCE prerequisites link to university placements. A prerequisite is a VCE unit or sequence of units that a student must successfully complete in order to be eligible to apply for particular courses at university. For example, an engineering course might stipulate that mathematics and physics at units 3 and 4 is a prerequisite. This simply means that if a student hasn't successfully completed these units, he or she will simply not be considered for entry into that particular course. It is important to recognize that many courses require units 1 and 2 general mathematics as a specific prerequisites. For instance, all education courses require maths units 1 to 4, either at general and then continuing into further. You must also note that different universities offering the same course may have different prerequisites. Previously, I mentioned the ATAR rank, and this is a quick explanation of it. The ATAR, or the Australian Tertiary Achievement Rank, is a number out of 100 that ranks students in Victoria based on their subject results or scores in a particular year. It is not in itself an absolute mark, but rather an indicator of a Year 12 student's relative academic standard against every other student doing VCE in that particular year, usually around 48,000 students in Victoria. This rank is then used as one measure to decide entry placements into university courses. The majority of VCE students try to participate in their VCE course with the aim of obtaining the highest ATAR rank possible. You can include a VET qualification or certificate as part of your VCE course, and you will have had extra information presented to you during the VET presentation as part of this presentation that we're doing tonight. Vocational Education and Training, or VET, in VCE or VCAL allows students to include a VET within their senior secondary certificate. Students undertake nationally recognised training that contributes to their VCE or VCAL. In other words, students can add a TAFE qualification to their schooling in years 11 and 12. As I said before, please refer to the VET presentation for extra information. Some constantly, or most years, we have students participate in the following VET qualifications as part of a scored VCE. A Cert 3 in Sport and Recreation, a Cert 3 in Building and Construction, a Cert 3 in Early Childhood Development, not to mention many others. So what is learning like in VCE? Well, first of all, I must say that VCE is very, very different to what you've previously studied at Year 10. The routine and the rigor at VCE is a significant step up from years 9 and 10. And each year I hear parents and students say, I'll simply work harder. I'll do more homework. It's not that easy. To satisfy and complete each VCE unit, a student must be able to demonstrate the acquisition of specified key knowledge and skills as identified in an official VCAR study design. This is not simply an issue of completing work, but rather demonstrating the learning that has occurred. As an academic course, students are expected to be organised in their work habits and largely self-motivated. Regular homework and self-regulated home study is essential. At least 2.5 hours per night in Year 11, moving on to 3.5 to 4 hours at Year 12. Now, these aren't just numbers that we've pulled out of thin air. Our data shows us to be successful in VCE, this is what our previous VCE students have done as a minimum. So please have a look at your weekly schedule. Have a look at what you're currently doing outside of school. Can you honestly say that you can fit this amount of schoolwork into your current schedule? Are you prepared to make modifications to your life and what you're currently doing to be able to put this in place? Because this is what you're going to need to do to obtain your best possible ATAR, have success, and enjoy your VCE experience. Assessment is determined by a range of set tasks, including specific graded and scored SACs, which are known as School Assessed Coursework, or SATs, School Assessed Tasks, such as art portfolios in your creative arts subjects. Not to mention your formal exams. Exam techniques are essential to success, and practice exams as well as a full suite of Year 11 and 12 written exams are undertaken each year. Scored VET subjects and studies such as your sport and rec, your IT, your building construction also have exams that contribute towards your ATAR score. It is not simply possible for you to succeed with all of your work undertaken at the end of a term or a semester like you may have been able to do in years 9 and 10. You need to be demonstrating your learning throughout the entire year, meeting checkpoints as we go. Finally, how successful are VCE students here at Cranbourne Secondary College? As long as the VCE has been in existence since 1990, a significant number of our students have attained excellent results in VCE. In Year 12, we reliably see students attain study scores for their subjects of 40 plus, which puts them in the top 10% in that subject in the state, and ATAR scores over 80 in recent years. Several students have even attained a perfect score of 50 for English and EAL, including last year in 2019. Our high achieving students are also explicitly supported through the Schools Access Monash Initiative and Deakin Express, including Monash students and mentors coming here on a weekly basis to work one-on-one as mentors for our VCE students. A specialised program of diverse speakers and sessions run at various points in the year at VCE. Students including study skills, road safety, stress management, gap presentations, Year 12 English exams are all extra presentations that we offer to support our VCE students to achieve their very, very best. We have a strong and dedicated team of VCE teachers who are located in B Block area to actively support students' learning and foster success. V Block is a specialised VCE facility here at Cranbourne Secondary College with a dedicated study hall where students are working each school day between 7:30 a.m. in the morning to 5:30 p.m. at night, explicitly accessing staff and resources to achieve their best in their VCE subjects. I hope this presentation has outlined some of your queries and concerns. If you have any more, please contact your careers advisor or come and see one of our staff in the V Block. where we'll be happy to answer your questions. Good luck in your